Hey guys, we're gonna show you something special. Came up to Ponchatoula, down Waitsboro Road, and visit Darren Pinion's soft shell hatchery. I made this name up. There's no soft shell hatchery. But let's go in and see Darren. So we come in. Hey Darren, here's Christy and I, and we want to say it. Let's show it to us.
Hello, Christy.
Darren also, he goes out in the morning, catch the crabs, and he separates, and he will show us how this whole thing works, since all I know is how to fry them and broil them and cook them. Let's come over here and look at all this, what we have. We have the different tanks. Explain us the tanks we have here.
This is a crab shedding system. It's probably a total of about 1,000 gallons of water, salt water that we maintain. And we have a pump outside that pumps the water into this tank.
Aerates it through here.
As the water drains from these tanks, it goes through the filter bed, and the filter bed goes into a sump outside, 500-gallon sump outside, and the water gets pumped right back in and aerates the water. But what we're doing here is shedding crabs.
You know, one thing, when I told my friend I come up here to Ponchatoula to visit the soft shells, they think this guys who have soft shell, they have to live in the swamp, in the water.
Yeah.
And this shows you don't. Like he told me, it's important. The best crabs you get, if you have a couple pecan trees and oak trees around your house, makes them much sweeter. Darren told me about it. But look over here. We have here some more. I looked at them, and I look at them, and I don't. So Darren showed me how we have different ones. Here's the soft shell, and that's the shell where it came out. So, and it's empty now.
They grow about 50% of the body.
This crab was this crab before, and it's crawled out, came out here, and now it's this. And he puts them in this ring to leave them a little bit, since if they're too soft, what Darren explained to me, you call it stretching, right?
And they need to stretch.
Stretching.
And we have one here that just came out, probably came out of this shell.
So you see,
and he hadn't stretched. He's still kind of
soft,
buckled over. His
real
balls
soft.
are dangling.
Yeah.
He's too soft.
Yeah.
He's actually too soft. Maybe the cook probably would rather get him more firm. This crab's very firm, easier to work. Right, Mr. Horst, you would rather work with this crab than that soft. And so maybe in about an hour.
And since he said in an hour, so, but also the rule, like you said earlier, every 4 to 5 hours you walk through there.
Yes.
Before you go to bed, then you get up at 4 or 5, you walk through again, and you try to find them. And the reason why you put them in here is so later on you don't have to look for them when they're stretched, so they don't get hard anymore. There's one earlier, the pullouts. Where did we put it?
Okay.
There's something real soft that people don't. Where did we put it? And look here, that's where we put them.
It's right here. I'll bring it over here.
Let's bring it over here. Look.
So this is a crab that actually died in the shedding process.
That's how it comes out. It's
actually dead. It got halfway out and it died. And so what we do is we actually peel the shell off the crab and we pull it out. That's why people call it pullouts. And some chefs actually want to pull up. I done had 2 cooks actually request pullouts. But like I said, it's a bad thing when they die, because we get a lot more money for them in that form.
When they're like this size.
So that crab is all you really got is the body of the crab.
Yeah. And the reason why it's happened, you showed me earlier, it had a claw missing, so it's got stuck from pulling it out.
It got stuck.
And look, here's again, there's the crab. So they're open in the back, they're open like this, then they crawl out, and then they end up big like this.
Yep. So this crab, like, it's regenerating the leg. It lost its claw, and it's actually regenerating that leg. And if that crab tried to shed, that leg would most likely get hung up, and it would die.
So you cut it off.
So we pull that leg off.
You amputate it to help him.
And he'll come out. He'll probably be, you can see he's already starting to crack. Look right there.
So,
he'll probably be out in a couple of hours. Like this crab right here.
Whoa.
This crab right here is a little further along. He'll probably be out 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And that's what I always put him in there.
So you don't have to look for
them again.
Since if you don't look thoroughly in the water runs here, you can lose them and they go hard again. You know?
Yeah.
I had a guy one time in the kitchen. He didn't believe they would get hard again, and I got 2 dozen live soft shell, and he put them in water and forgot about them, and I bought 2 dozen hard crabs. It was expensive hard crab.
Yep. Here's one. Here's a smaller crab. It's all coming out.
But even this small crab will be big compared to
this crab. Just say this is approximately a 4-inch crab.
Mhm.
When it comes, once it sheds, it's going to be 6 inches.
But not as big as this one.
No, 50%.
That's a Lake Merpon mancheck crab.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is a Lake Ponchatoula. If you ask me, the best quality salt shell crab, or the best quality salt shell crab in the state, maybe in the country, I don't know, maybe.
You know, I bet some people in Maryland who, that's our thing. I mean, you sell most of your crabs going to Maryland.
Hard crabs.
It's hard crabs going to Maryland. We can't afford to buy them anymore. It's sad. We had Middendorf, we're next to the lake, and people think they should be free.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so expensive we can't. But when they get these big crabs and they have them hard crab, they call them swamp dogs up in Maryland.
Swamp dogs. Huh?
Yeah. So, but let's go back. You showed us also back here about green crabs. That's also shedding.
More systems, more shed. Here's a soft one.
How you
want to get him out, Mr. Tar?
Yeah. Did he just look and see the color? I couldn't see the difference. Look, the Darren has knife for it. I don't. I'm blind in this. I know how to clean them. I mean, I tried to look over there. You know, I mean, you have this eye. It's so.
Yeah, we've been doing it quite a while, so you kind of just know they're bigger and
What's this one?
Colors.
No, he's going after me. You know, people don't realize how hard it's not work. Not every crab you get out of the lake who wants to shed. Out of 100, how many you lose in here?
Oh yeah, we definitely lose some.
Yeah.
We shoot for about 90%.
Yeah.
If 90% we do real. If we shed 90%, it's really good.
You're lucky.
Yes, but sometimes like right now it's starting to get real hot, so our percentage goes down.
So the hot doesn't help. That's why you have.
Hot is terrible.
That's why you don't have ventilation and everything in here.
Here's another crab with just regenerating.
How quickly they regenerate like the lake?
I guess the next time they shed, you know. The next time they shed, they start growing a little leg.
But then the same time, the shedding, they get ready, and it would kill them almost. They wouldn't pull out.
Well, in nature, most of them will make it, but we done stress the crab, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We put it under a lot of stress by taking it out the water, you know, handling the crab, putting it in the ice chest.
That's brutal. But you know, a lot of people don't know how this works and how much work it is. Mm-hmm. So you go out in the morning, 5 o'clock you leave here. Mm-hmm. You go out crabbing till 9, 10 o'clock, drop them off, come home. And so you have always this window. Immediately when you come home, have to come in here, check them, and put the ones in the water you just got.
Exactly.
And
and we take them out of here and we put them in the refrigerator. And we may sell them fresh, but then we got to wrap them and put them in the freezer.
How many? So you have 800 traps. Your son has 1,200.
1,200. Yes, sir.
So.
Yes, sir. If you might want to know how can we tell what a buster is? When we talk
show us that.
About the red line.
We have to see it.
A female is very easy. This is a female, a maiden crab.
You see it.
Maiden crab is very pink. The pink, tells us that it's a buster, but she also has a red line. If we look it up to the light.
On the flipper?
On the flipper, see a red line. Here's a male crab. And the way we knew that crab initially, that pink. The pink on the claws, we know that crab is close. But then to double check, we look at that, we put that red line. Red line in the end. We know this crab is a good buster crab, and it's not going to eat any more crab. So if this wasn't a buster crab, and I accidentally put this crab in here, not being a buster, it would eat the soft shell, or partially eat the soft shell crab. And that we don't want to do that because we lose money that way.
You don't
Really
go.
see the red line on that crab. Pink claws. It's a good specimen of a male buster crab.
It's a nice size already. I mean, it comes out, it'll be big. The big ones we saw over there, we call the swamp dog. The big ones, they're shedding here. What is the life expectancy of them?
Well, from what I'm not an expert, but from what I read, a male crab will live up to 3 years.
3 years.
But and from what I read, y'all better double check before y'all publish this. But once the male crabs come into Lake Ponchatoula, Lake Maupaw, they stay here. The females go back out into the marsh,
To reproduce out.
reproduce, lay their eggs. But the males stay in. They stay. They love our brackish water here in Lake Ponchatoula. Of course, they get plenty to eat in Lake Ponchatoula. Plenty of food, plenty of clamshells.
Yeah.
They eat a lot of clamshells in Lake Ponchatoula. So I guess they have no reason.
And here, since our crabs in Lake Pontchartrain and Robert are getting so big, it's still the same species as they have west of the Mississippi, but there's too much salt and they're not. They just don't grow.
That's what I understand. That Lake Ponchatoula has just a perfect blackish mix. We do have about 2 parts per thousand is where Lake Ponchatoula stays right now. Before the Mystico closed, it used to stay around 5 or 6 parts per thousand.
But since they're open and closed, still the water comes in as fast as before. It's like I remember when they closed it, when Rocky told me, "Oh, they're closed. It will be all safe." And then the next day we had the worst hurricane ever.
That's right.
So
now we did have a lot of crabs. Back in the early '80s and '90s, we had a lot more crabs. I guess because of the loss of our mark or whatever, for whatever reason.
But I tell one,
less crabs now.
But I never seen as many soft shell coming in so early as this year.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
And it's been many, many years.
It has been a very good year on soft shell crabs. The past 3 years been real bad.
Right.
But this year,
I never had so many soft shells so early. Okay, let's look in this here. This is your green tank.
These are called green crabs. So this is the crabs. They still eating. They still eating. This is a female. She's probably still eating, but she's not quite red enough, and she don't quite have that red line. And if I put this crab over there, she'll probably eat one of my crabs. If I get a male crab, this male crab has a little pink claw. We call it a little pearly look on the crab, but that crab does not have a red line. Maybe in 2 or 3 days, if I'm lucky, it'll turn into a buster, and I'll move it over here.
So you've just been crapping, and you bought a whole bushel of them and threw them in there. You didn't sort anything out.
No, in the lake, I spotted these crabs. That pinkness on their claws.
A little bit.
As you run your trap, you'll spot them in the trap.
Okay, I was out with Lerman. We put the busters there, and then the number ones, and then this, and so we don't. So you have 4 baskets on your trap.
While we running our crab traps, and we could pretty much tell, by just looking at the crabs in the trap, which ones would be busters, or at least green crabs, just by that color, Mr. Horst. And they very, very lively, and that's one way we can tell our water. If these crabs snap at you,
yeah, that's what they did earlier.
They're very lively.
Earlier there was 2 of them there.
It's doing good when the crabs are trying to bite you.
And the water has to be at this time, and then we get another shed in August sometimes, right?
We'll shed all through the
but it's like
the big shed should start again. We call that you got a big shed in the springtime and a big shed in the fall. In this past year, this past year, 2023 was the first time I shed crabs all the way to Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, I shut the bats off because I was going out of town to go deer hunting after Christmas. So I shut my bats off for Christmas Eve. That's the first time. It's usually Thanksgiving. So
This is so pretty. Look how pink it is. They're ready.
Yeah.
There is a monster here. I mean, look at this color. You don't get crabs anywhere like this. Look at this. When you do make the salt water here, water and salt, that's what our crabs are used to, and so many people think you have to. I remember at Middendorf, they used to run a line from the lake along all the houses, so everybody would have to water from there.
really, but it's
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
out the pass.
yeah.
This crab is coming out. It's lively. I wish we would have one that we could just watch come out.
I know, it's okay.
'Cause this crab is probably 30 to 45 minutes away.
No, it's okay.
This one,
There's people, they want to see certainly, but I mean, this tough shells are big. But now you can take them out, right? I mean, they're
yeah, that's it. We take them out.
I'll bring them to you.
And from this point, we're either gonna send them to Mr. Horst fresh, or we may wrap them.
Yeah.
Depends on what day of the week it is. And actually, the buster crabs, they don't bite quite as hard as what we call a green crab.
Yeah, but
They
whatever.
it will hurt, but
It will hurt, yeah. Look, Christy. You know, when
the
the
box of number one's 36 crabs ready for delivery.
number one means 6 inches in large, right?
6 inches and 6 inches.
And the 6 inches means from point to point.
But right now, this year has been incredible. Most of these crabs are probably 6.5 to 7 inches. Just another example.
I mean, look, even this, when you look at this one, even when you get hard crab, it's like they're gigantic.
That's it.
That's more than 6 inches. This, I don't know, that's humongous.
It is.
And look, when we buy crabs, even if we get the hard crabs, and I wish I could do them right now, but people don't understand. I mean, right now, if you boil a crab, till I buy them, cook them, have them on the plate, I have like $7 in the plate. And then we don't sell every one of them.
Yeah.
Like not every, we have some waste when we boil them. And so how much can you sell them for? And to make money or pay at least the bills.
Yes.
If you would pay my crab cost me $7 to put on a plate and you sell it for $10, people wouldn't buy them in Louisiana.
That's right.
They don't understand, but
That's right.
that's why all the crabs go into Maryland right now.
The hard crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The hard crabs.
That's what
The hard crabs are definitely all going to Maryland. We're getting top money this year. Best price we ever got, this year. Hard crabs.
Yeah.
I personally attribute it to the high price of crawfish. Maybe the scarcity of crabs on the
Yeah,
East
but in
Coast.
Maryland they wouldn't eat crawfish.
Yeah.
So they would be staying down here. I'm surprised they didn't reach out to snatch up our soft shells too.
Yeah, maybe they don't transport well. I'm not sure. Maybe
Is it
it's
worth
too
it?
much handling. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's not their kind. I mean, most people, when our friends from Europe come and I want to serve them a soft shell, they'll look at it real weird. I think it's a gigantic spider.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how does this look? Does it look delicious? And fried or broiled? Broiled is always a hard thing to do. When you fry them, the legs, they get crisp, people eat them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you broil them, especially this big leg crab, to cook the meat through, I tell the people always cover with aluminum, but it's a lot of work to broil a big crab. The reason why we're here and with Darren and why he does this, there's actually a lot of history to it. Tell us where it all started.
Well, I'm actually a fourth generation crabber, and my son is a fifth generation crabber. But I come from a long line of shrimpers. Fourth generation, actually a fourth generation fisherman. My son's a fifth generation fisherman. But anyway, in 1983, I was working at Middendorf Seafood Restaurant for Joey and Susan.
Right.
Great people to work for, and taught me very good work ethic.
How long did you work there?
I actually only worked there 2 years because I was working there at Middendorf, saving my money like we all did back then. And my brother was a crabber at the time, and he went to Disney World. Well, when he went to Disney World, he said, "Will you run my traps?" So that week of crabbing, I made more money in that week of crabbing than I did in a month working at Middendorf. So I took all the money I had saved from Middendorf and bought crab traps and a boat. And I quit Middendorf and went crabbing. Long story short, I paid for all my gear. And in the fall, of course, I was broke, no crabs. I went back to work at Middendorf. So long story short, in the summertime during high school, during the summertime, I would crab. In the wintertime, I would work at Middendorf.
And did whatever.
And do whatever. We used to nutri hunt back then. Nutri fur industry was big back then.
Yeah.
And, so
the good old days. The good old days.
The good old days. Anything to make a buck. So anyway, that's where my career as a crabber started.
And now you have it so easy. You check on them every 4 hours. You sleep, you get up, you ride the boat around. I mean, huh?
That's right.
That's what people think it's so easy.
Yeah. If it was easy, a lot of other people would do it, believe me. And I do believe you need it in your blood. I think that's a big attribute to being a good crabber.
Right.
Just that mentality that you're born with, you know.
And it is hard, and it's not for everybody. But people also, it's not easy, so people don't get around. Since there sometimes can be 10 days of wind, and you can't go out there, and it's hard. Then you still have to go out there, clean your traps, try to find your traps after a storm. They move the traps around. You lose so many. You have to bring them in clean. People don't realize how. Yes, if you work hard and you have a good season, you can make a very good living in any job, but they don't know how much hard work it is.
Yeah. And just crabbing is something like you better make hay when the sun shines.
Right.
You better work hard, get it while it's getting good, and you better learn how to save your money for the hard times.
That's the one I think people. When you have a crab trap, Darren told me, you have to bring them in and clean them and everything. I'll let him explain it to you. But let's walk over to Darren's crab trap so he can explain to you. How often the cleaning of the traps? How often you taking?
It depends on how bad the grass is growing this year. The water's a little more salty.
And
they seem to be growing a lot worse, a lot faster this year.
So
once we clean them, maybe a couple months, we'll have to clean them again.
Like at least twice a year?
Twice a year.
So you clean them with a pressure washer?
Clean them with a pressure washer.
So I remember I used to bought some for decoration and everything. I mean, this stuff sticks on there.
Yep, that's the grass that grows on. These actually look good because they dried. But this is the grass. If this trap were to be wet, it really look bad.
So it's easier to clean them, let it dry a little bit.
Let it dry a little bit, and then we pressure wash them. And so this is a perfectly clean, good trap, ready to go back out.
Show us also, where's the little hole where you have to put in now? You have it?
Okay, this is called the escape rings.
The escape ring.
This escape rings, that's 2 and 5/8. And
all the small crabs can come out there.
All the small crabs can come out, which is a real good conservation effort by the wildlife and fisheries.
And the fishermen want to, since you don't want to kill your livelihood.
Exactly.
People don't realize that, you're not going out there to pick every crab. Even the ones who escape here, and then what do you have in here? You don't grab every crab who's in there. If it's too light or not good, or
and we have to throw the little maiden females away now. The little virgin maiden females. We throw them back unless they're buster. We are able to keep them if it's a buster.
Yeah.
Because we would lose pretty good money if we had to throw the busters back. But we throw all that back, which is, you know, our breeding stock. So
people don't realize how much work this is to do this. And your son is building them.
my son Dawson builds these traps,
Uh-huh.
and he, like I told you earlier, he was taught by one of the best, Scope for crabs. So
Yeah. So they go in there.
they go
In there you have the bait.
That's right. And here we have the bait, and the crab goes through the funnel to eat the bait. And when he realizes he's caught, it can't come back up. I guess his first instinct is to go up, and it goes through the secondary funnel and gets trapped in this upper chamber.
And here you you open this little thing and put the bait in.
Put the bait, and
What they're using for bait right now?
we use two things. We use pogies and catfish heads,
Catfish
but
heads.
mainly pogies. Mainly pogies.
Where you get catfish heads.
And we buy that from the crab. All the local crab buyers have pogies.
Yeah. In old days, what they put before pokies, when you started, what they had catfish pieces.
We've always had pogies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when you worked at Middendorf,
it's big business.
but you could get all the scrap from Middendorf there.
Oh, we did back in the day. Believe me.
Yeah.
The catfish heads back in the day, in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Definitely.
So, Christy, now you can go crapping. That's right up your alley.
All we got to do is let him stretch for maybe an hour, and it's ready for market.
Okay, we just came back from Darren for a look at our soft shell operation. Darren has over that's real impressive. We brought them back, and I'll just show you what we do here at Middendorf. So we have a soft shell crab here, and I'm gonna get it ready to clean it. So we cut open here, and you go in and you have to cut these bubbles since there's so they don't explode. I'll clean this off. So now it's cleaned, ready to eat the whole thing. Here we have some self-rising flour. We lay it in here. Shake off the flour. We put in egg wash. And we put it one more time in there. That's how we do our soft shell crab here at Middendorf. And And you use self-rising flour, so when it fries, it gets crispy. It's almost like a little tempura butter. And them. Let's bring them over to the fryer. Let's go over there. Come on. And I hold them with our flippers and put them in there. And let's give them some. Let's probably take 4 or 5 minutes to get them finished. And we're going to just put a little bit something on it so it goes faster. Yeah. A little bit longer.
Alright.
It's ready. Let's put it on the plate. And all you need is a little bit remoulade and tartar sauce. Guten Appetit.